Hello, dear friends. It is a pleasure and honor to meet you again. Today, I will bring you a meaningful story. Let's make some tea and sit on the speedboat with us to explore this story. Alex walked into the office that Monday morning, still feeling the fatigue from the weekend. The coffee in his hand was barely keeping him awake as he navigated through the maze of gray cubicles. At 28, Alex was a respected marketing strategist at the company, known for his dedication and his composed way of interacting with people. With neatly combed brown hair and attentive blue eyes, Alex exuded a natural confidence that drew people in. His friendly smile and willingness to help others made him well-liked by his colleagues. Dressed in a crisp light blue dress shirt and tailored black trousers, Alex carried an aura of casual professionalism. As he reached his desk, Alex was immediately approached by his friend, Ethan, a tall, lean 30-year-old with messy blonde hair and an ever-present grin. Ethan, a sales representative, was known for his outgoing nature and playful attitude. "Alex, I need a huge favor," Ethan began, leaning over the cubicle wall. "Sophia from finance finally agreed to go out with me, but she already had plans with her friend. Now I need someone to keep her friend company. Can you help me out?" Alex knew Sophia, a poised and elegant woman with long black hair and striking brown eyes. She was considered one of the most stunning employees in the office, always impeccably dressed and carrying herself with confidence. Assuming her friend would share similar traits, Alex didn't hesitate to accept. "Sure, Ethan, count me in," he replied with a smile, imagining an enjoyable evening ahead. Ethan's face lit up with gratitude as he handed Alex the address of the meeting spot. It was only later, fueled by curiosity, that Alex asked who Sophia's friend was. "Oh, it's Emily from the tax department," Ethan answered casually. Alex's smile faltered for a moment. He knew Emily, the reserved and introverted woman who worked on the lower floor. At 25, Emily was almost invisible at the company, always wearing modest clothes, with long brown hair partially hiding her face. She walked with a limp due to a leg issue and often kept to herself. Alex had overheard cruel remarks about Emily in the office corridors, comments that always disgusted him. He despised such behavior and wasn't afraid to confront colleagues who made inappropriate jokes. However, the idea of spending an evening with Emily wasn't something he had ever envisioned. Sensing Alex's hesitation, Ethan urged him, "Come on, Alex. It's just for one evening. You can always make an excuse to leave early if you need to. Don't leave me hanging." Reluctantly, not wanting to let Ethan down, Alex agreed. "Fine, Ethan. I'll do it." The hours dragged on that day as Alex found himself frequently glancing at the clock, a mix of unease and curiosity building inside him. When the time finally came, he made his way to the address Ethan had given him. The venue was a cozy bar restaurant in the heart of the city. Exposed brick walls adorned with vintage posters and dim yellow lighting created a warm ambience. Dark wooden tables were scattered around, some occupied by animated groups of friends and others by couples in quiet conversation. At the entrance, Alex spotted Ethan nervously adjusting the collar of his shirt. Ethan had clearly made an effort for the evening, wearing a freshly ironed white shirt and dark trousers. Even his usually unkempt hair was neatly styled. "You might have gone overboard with the cologne, Ethan," Alex teased as he walked up. "At this rate, you'll scare Sophia off." Ethan laughed, the tension momentarily lifting as the evening began to unfold. Nervously running a hand through his hair, Ethan asked, "You think so? Damn, maybe I overdid it a bit." At that moment, a taxi pulled up in front of the restaurant. Sophia was the first to step out, stunning in a green dress that accentuated her natural beauty. Her dark hair fell in soft waves over her shoulders, and her radiant smile seemed to brighten the entire street. Alex watched as Ethan straightened his posture, clearly trying to appear taller and more confident. But Alex's attention shifted entirely when the second passenger emerged from the taxi. It was Emily, but not the Emily he was accustomed to seeing in the office. This Emily was transformed. Her hair, typically loose and partially covering her face, was now styled into a sleek bun that revealed her delicate features. She wore a simple navy blue dress that complemented her slender figure perfectly. Most striking of all were her eyes, now unobstructed by her usual hairstyle. They were a deep, amber-toned brown, brimming with confidence and determination. That's when Alex noticed something else for the first time. A faint scar on the right side of Emily's face. It was a thin, silver line that stretched from her temple to her cheek. Oddly, instead of detracting from her beauty, the scar seemed to add an air of resilience and intrigue. Alex and Ethan stepped forward to greet the women. Sophia greeted Ethan with a kiss on the cheek, causing him to blush deeply. Emily, on the other hand, offered Alex a soft, shy smile. "Hi, Alex," she said quietly. "Thanks for coming." "The pleasure is mine, Emily," Alex replied, surprised by the genuine warmth in his own voice. The four of them entered the restaurant. Ethan and Sophia quickly dove into an animated conversation, leaving Alex and Emily trailing behind in a slightly awkward silence. As they walked to their table, Alex noticed something unusual. Several staff members and even a few customers greeted Emily warmly. She responded to each of them with a kind smile, occasionally pausing for a quick chat. Once seated, Emily's face lit up when Alex asked about her interests. "I love sports, especially soccer," she said enthusiastically. "My dad used to take me to games when I was a kid." The conversation began to flow effortlessly. Alex learned that Emily was not just a sports fan, but also an adventurer. She spoke passionately about street running and recounted her skydiving experiences. "Wait, you've been skydiving?" Alex asked, astonished. Emily laughed, a melodious sound Alex realized he had never heard before. "3 times, actually. It's the most exhilarating feeling of freedom." As the evening unfolded, Alex found himself captivated by Emily. She wasn't just intelligent and charming. She was also fearless and full of fascinating stories. He learned that she had traveled to over 15 countries, constantly seeking new adventures and unique experiences. During a lull in the conversation, Alex gathered the courage to ask something that had been on his mind all evening. "Emily, I hope you don't mind me asking, but what happened to your leg? I noticed you walk with a bit of difficulty." Emily's smile faded briefly, but she responded with surprising calm. "When I was 10, I was hit by a car while riding my bike outside our house. My left leg was so badly injured that the doctors had to amputate it below the knee." Alex remained silent, absorbing her words. Emily continued, "That same accident left me with this scar on my face. For years, I hid behind my hair, ashamed of the marks it left on me. But eventually, I realized these scars are part of who I am. They tell a story of survival and strength." Alex nodded, admiration growing in his heart as the night stretched on. Alex watched Emily with awe as she continued, her smile unwavering. "At first, it was really tough," she admitted, "but my parents always pushed me not to let it define me. With time and a lot of practice, I learned to do everything people my age could do, sometimes even more. I've already run 5 marathons with my sports prosthetic, and I'm training for my 6th, she added with a proud smile. Alex was deeply impressed. The woman sitting across from him was so far removed from the shy, withdrawn image he'd formed of Emily over the years. He felt a pang of regret for allowing office rumors and appearances to shape his opinion. "You're incredible, Emily," he said earnestly. I'm sorry if I ever judged you unfairly or underestimated you." Emily's eyes widened with surprise and gratitude. "Thank you, Alex. You know, I also misjudged you. I always thought you were one of those superficial guys who only talk about themselves. I'm sorry for rushing to conclusions." They both laughed, a shared moment of understanding that seemed to deepen their connection. Their conversation flowed naturally from then on, covering topics from work challenges to their dreams for the future. They were so engrossed in their discussion that they barely noticed when Ethan and Sophia approached to say goodbye. "Hey, everyone," Ethan said, looking a bit startled to see Alex and Emily so at ease together. "Sophia and I are heading out. Are you coming?" Alex glanced at Emily, silently asking for her input. She smiled warmly. "I think we'll stay a little longer, if that's okay." After Ethan and Sophia left, Alex and Emily resumed their conversation, the atmosphere becoming even more intimate and reflective. "You know, Emily," Alex began, "I'm genuinely impressed by you. At work, you seem so reserved, but here you're confident, full of life. It's like you're a completely different person." Emily sighed, her gaze growing distant. "This is my environment," she explained. "Here, people know me for who I am. They don't judge me for how I look or for my prosthetic. At work, though, from day one, I felt the stares, the whispers. Eventually, I retreated into a shell." She paused, taking a sip of her drink. "It's sad, but the environment we're in has a huge impact on how we feel and see ourselves." Alex felt a wave of guilt. While he had never contributed to the cruel remarks about Emily, he also hadn't made an effort to get to know her. "I'm so sorry you had to go through that," he said sincerely. "No one deserves to be treated that way." Emily smiled, her face lighting up with warmth. "Thank you, Alex. You know, tonight has been a wonderful surprise. When Sophia mentioned her friend would be you, I almost didn't come, but I'm so glad I did." The night continued, and when they finally decided to leave, both felt something special had begun between them. They said goodbye with a warm hug, a silent promise that this wouldn't be their last meeting. The next day, the office was buzzing with whispers and curious glances as Alex arrived, greeting Emily warmly in the hallway. But instead of shying away from the attention, Alex saw an opportunity. Approaching a group of colleagues, he said enthusiastically, "Did you know Emily has run 5 marathons? She's amazing." Their surprised reactions encouraged him. In another group, he mentioned Emily's traveled to over 15 countries and has the most incredible stories. Day by day, Alex and Emily grew closer, and the office began to see Emily in a new light. Her confidence blossomed, her once timid steps now firm, her voice, once barely audible, frequently heard in lively conversations. The change was undeniable, and it all started with one unexpected evening. A few weeks later, during a coffee break, Alex invited Emily to meet his parents. They lived in a charming suburban home with a neat garden blooming with colorful flowers. As they stepped inside, they were greeted by the mouth-watering aroma of a roast cooking in the oven. Alex's mother, a warm and cheerful woman with kind eyes, welcomed them with open arms. "So, you're the famous Emily Alex can't stop talking about," she said teasingly, causing Alex to blush. In the living room, Alex's father was watching a soccer game but quickly stood to greet them. Emily noticed something unexpected. He had a prosthetic leg. Sensing her curiosity, Alex's father smiled. "Diabetes," he explained. "I had to have it amputated 5 years ago, but it hasn't stopped me from chasing after my grandkids in the backyard." At that moment, Emily understood why Alex was different from others. He had grown up in an environment where physical challenges weren't viewed as limitations, but as hurdles to overcome. The afternoon flew by, filled with laughter, heartfelt stories, and a growing sense of connection. That evening, when Alex walked Emily to her door, the atmosphere between them was charged with unspoken emotions. Standing on her doorstep, Alex took her hands, his gaze steady yet nervous. "Emily, I think I'm falling in love with you, he confessed, his voice trembling slightly. Emily's heart skipped a beat. Alex, I'm falling in love with you too, she replied, her face lighting up with a radiant smile. Under the soft glow of the moonlight, they shared their first kiss, a tender, heartfelt moment filled with promises of a love born from the most unexpected of circumstances. As Alex walked back to his car, he couldn't stop smiling. He reflected on how a simple favor for a friend had profoundly changed his life. Through Emily, he had learned to see beyond surface appearances and to appreciate the inner strength and resilience that made her extraordinary. With a light heart and a renewed sense of hope, Alex drove home, excited for the next chapter of this surprising but deeply genuine love story. If you enjoyed this story, please leave a comment with a rating from 1 to 10 to let us know what you think. And don't forget to check out the video now appearing on your screen. See you next time.